Metro Police Chief Troy Riggs joins us live in studio today, and a lot to talk about. So let's start with Orlando, and thanks for joining us. What is your read on this situation?
Just a terrible situation. It's something that everyone in law enforcement is concerned about, but I can't say enough for Orlando Police Department, the men and women that serve bravely, and then also the FBI. They have been very good at sharing information, better than I've seen in the past. We've been kept up to date. We have been told there's no other threats throughout the nation. But once again, there wasn't a threat in Orlando either. So we've stepped up some patrols. We're working with some of our partners locally and just monitoring the situation.
And with this Howell arrest in California that there's no indication that these are linked, have you been contacted by the FBI in any way in relation to that case?
We have been. I'm not going to talk about the details, but they are on top of this case and they're investigating it fully, and I have full confidence that they'll exhaust every measure possible.
So many elements to discuss, one of them including gun control, lots of calls for that. The assault rifle used in this case can be legally purchased right here and in the state of Indiana. It
can be, and there's a lot of people that debate this. It's a Second Amendment issue, and those gun laws change from time to time, and that's something that we as a nation have to have that discussion about and rely on our elected officials to make that decision. But I will tell you something that I'm worried about in other chiefs in major cities as they've seen homicide rates soar over the last few years is the amount of people using firearms in these homicides that have previous weapon charges. We need to be very serious about those individuals carrying weapons now illegally. And
there was an allegation that has not been confirmed by the former wife of the shooter in Florida, saying that he was bipolar, throwing that out there. Mental health and access to guns is a very key concern.
It is something we really need to talk more about. We've been leading that discussion as an IMPD and a department, and throughout the city. The mayor and I have spoken about that. We have a lot of people suffering. If you look in some of our high crime areas where violence is rampant in some areas, you'll see that individuals suffer from mental health issues at a much greater number. We're seeing that in assaults against police officers, assaults against citizens. It's something we really have to have a conversation about globally, not just in the city of Indianapolis, but we need a national conversation as well.
Donald Trump live on the Today Show this morning making allegations that people related to this incident saw something and didn't say something. That has been an ongoing, consistent theme from you. If you see something and say something to help not only prevent crime, but also solve murders and crimes. Are people listening to this message now?
They are here in Indianapolis. We've been talking, we've been out in the communities. We've had over 100 community meetings since January 1 that we've attended, and we want to make sure that we have that open communications with the residents we serve. In addition to the beat officers, the data center that's sharing information, we're seeing more and more cases being solved quickly this year. Just the other day, we had a beat officer that received some information, was able to lock up someone on a homicide and a kidnapping. So we're seeing trending in the right direction, but we're very thankful to citizens for sharing that information. Sometimes it's those small tips that can avert a very large disaster.
Anything before we wrap up here, Chief Riggs, between the connection between Indianapolis and Orlando and the developments that have occurred there?
I think when you look at Orlando, you look at the bombing in Oklahoma City, we have to realize that this can happen anywhere in an open society. We live in a free nation. We want it to remain that way, obviously, but we really have to work together, not only as law enforcement, local and state and federal, but as a community too. The best way we can be safe is we all work together. If you see something, say something. Let's not be paranoid, but let's certainly be prepared.
All right, Chief Riggs, thank you very much for your input today.